Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a horror film review. Tonight we've got looking at an absolute classic. I think it was made in about 1927, something like that, and it's called The Cat and the Canary. Now this is the Masters of Cinema edition by Eureka. I believe there's only 2,000 editions of this. I think it will get another proper release, but this edition is only 2,000 copies. Because it comes with a limited slipcase, and it comes with a booklet, and obviously the movie, and a reversible cover. Now this is, I believe it's about 1927, black and white silent movie, and it's one of the very first sort of the old house sort of horror films, the old dark house sort of horror films, and this one's based on this old man called Cyrus that owns this mansion, and all of his family all been waiting for him to sort of die for his will, and they all think he's mad and crazy, and eventually he dies. So it's then down to who's going to inherit his house. So we meet his sort of the maid, who's very, very creepy, and I think his name's Mr. Foster, I can't remember, but the guy who's there to do the will reading, and they're sort of planning out the will reading because he's got certain specific things that he wants his will to be read, and it's going to be at midnight, and he wants all his beneficiaries to be there. So, and this has been like, I don't know, it's weird, it's almost like 20 years later after he's died. I think this is one of the terms and conditions of his agreement. So this is supposed to be like 20 years after he's died, and it's supposed to be, this house is supposed to be haunted by his ghost. Anyway, it comes to the evening of the will reading, and his beneficiaries start arriving. First of all, we got two men that arrive separately of the family members, and they're quite creepy looking too, very suspicious looking. And then we have two women turn up, an aunt and his niece, and they both arrive in a stagecoach that won't take him any further towards the mansion. They says, oh, because it's haunted and I'm not going anywhere near it. So they get dropped off there, and they're spooked out, and they run towards the mansion thinking that it's haunted or something, and they go inside. And we sort of meet them with the two guys. And then another guy turns up. He's the sort of comic relief of the film. And he's a very sort of Harold Lloyd sort of character. He's even got the sort of look with the sort of Harold Lloyd glasses. And he's sort of like clumsy and sort of buffoonery. So he sort of arrives. His name's Paul Jones, I think, his character in this. And they want to start the will reading, but the guy that does it says, no, we've got to wait for Annabelle to turn up. Now, Annabelle's one of the main sort of characters of the film. I believe that's her there on the front cover. I haven't made any notes. I'm sorry, guys. I watched it late last night. I came home from work about sort of 9 o'clock, 9:30. I thought, you know what? I'm going to stay up and watch one of these silent movies, and I did, and I really enjoyed it. Anyway, so she arrives, and Paul, the buffoon, has got this thing for her, and it's so obvious. And then they do the will reading, and they sit down and they do the will reading, and the guy reads out the will, how the old man says they all believed he's mad for years, and all this sort of thing. And he says that the beneficiary of this is going to go to the youngest member of the family, and it's in fact his niece. One of his nieces, Annabelle. So she's gone, Annabelle West. So she's gone and got herself the fortune. So the whatever fortune there's apparently some diamonds. There's obviously the palace. There's whatever monies he's left it all to her. And but there's a stipulation. There's going to be a doctor, a physician turning up, and he has to prove that she's sane. Okay. And if she's sane, she keeps it. If she's proven that she's not sane, there's another name in another envelope that the guy's got in his pocket that he has to open if she's appealed to be not sane enough to keep the building. Anyway, all this sort of stuff sort of goes on, and then they all start getting creeped out because all these creepy things start happening around the house. The old woman is really upset that the aunt about the will wants to go. She starts thumping on the table, and it knocks the painting off the wall of our main man, of Cyrus. And then the housemaid says, oh, that's it, that's an evil curse now, you've knocked that down. Something evil's going to happen here tonight. So again, it spooks everyone out. And all these sort of strange things happen. They all go to their sort of rooms and their bedroom, and all these sort of strange sort of things happen. And then we get that classic sort of haunted house sort of thing. There's one part in the film where the guy that did the reading is in the bedroom with Annabelle, and he's just about to tell her the name of the other beneficiary that's in that envelope if she's not sane. And in typical Scooby-Doo style, a hand comes out the door and grabs him and pulls him in behind this hidden bookcase, and he's disappeared. So she's then screaming around saying, oh, he's disappeared. No one believes her, so they all think she's going mad. And all this sort of things happen. And all these weird and wonderful sort of traditional haunted house sort of things happen, and then obviously the police get involved. Our doctor arrives, and then the story sort of progresses around because they find a dead body and all this sort of thing going on, and it all sort of unfolds as the story unfolds. Of course, I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's an amazing little watch. It is a great film. It is of its time. I mean, it is the 1920s. And it's but it's still very cleverly filmed. There's some amazing sort of effects in the film with overlays of film, and so it's really, really cool. And this cat and canary thing gets mentioned a number of times, where it's like the guy that's died feels he's the canary, and that his family, all the cats, watching over him, waiting for him to sort of die, sort of thing. So that's where the title comes from. And it's got some amazing effects, like when you're outside in the grounds and that, there's loads of cobwebs and stuff, but the coloration is all black and white, all blue and white. But as soon as you go into the house, it's all sort of warm and sepia sort of colour. So they've, once again, a little bit like there's Cabinet, the Dr. Gallagiera, they sort of played around with the colorations. I suppose that's a way of indicating the sort of atmosphere of the different areas, because all they had then was the filters. They probably didn't have the equipment to go and film outside and do this and make it look sort of eerie. So they did it with sort of coloured filters on the lenses, and it works really, really well, and it's really, really creepy. There's some really creepy scenes in the film, and some of the characters, like the maids, she looks so scary and creepy when she stares at the camera. It's like you get shivers, and there is some creepy bits in the film, and then the sort of story unfolds to a classic sort of haunted honeymoon sort of ending, where is it really a ghost, or is it a family member trying to trick the rest of them so they can get the fortune? It's that sort of story, and it's a classic sort of amazing sort of story, which I like. I mean, I even like the sort of horror films like this, like the Agatha Christie sort of ones where someone's been murdered in the house, and it's just such a cool premise. And a gripping sort of story, and this does grip you. Like I told you before, if you're going to watch these sort of old movies, put yourself in the right environment for it. Not in the middle of the day. You're not going to enjoy it as much. But you make it the room dark and sit there, you know, all relaxed and chilled, watching an old silent movie with the music going, and you will enjoy it. And this is a classic tale. It's amazing. The negatives of the film, there's one. I think the music. I think the music didn't suit the film. It was too upbeat, if you know what I mean. It almost sounded like it was like, I mean, from a sort of an early silent film comedy, some of it. Not as dark and gloomy as sort of like Nosferatu sort of music. And I think that's what kind of a little bit takes you out of the film a little bit, which is a shame. So on that note, I'm gonna have to score it an awesome watch and give it a 9 out of 10. Now, if the music would have been really creepy, that would have had a 10 out of 10 because the atmosphere was built, the acting was pretty good, the effects were really cool, the photography was amazing, and then the music lets it down. But apart from that, it's really, really cool. I'll go through some of the extra features for you on the disc. Okay, it's limited edition. Okay, it's 1080p HD. Right. Brand new audio commentary from Stephen Jones. Brand new audio commentary from Kevin Leon and Stephen Wrigley. Mysteries Mean Dark Corners, a brand new video essay by David Carins and Fiona Watson. Amanda Hutchinson on The Cat and the Canary. That's a brand new interview with the writer. Can't read that. I think it's Fiona Lee on Cat and Canary, a brand new interview with film critic. A very eccentric man and a cat. Extracts from John Willard's original play. Lucky Strike. Paul Lean gave a full-throated endorsement to the product, and it's through the Cat and the Canary, plus a collector's booklet featuring new writings from Sarah Smith. So yeah, it's Cat and the Canary, 1927. I was right, American film, and it was by Paul Leany. So yeah, I gave you more info than I thought I could actually. So there we go. It's actually all written down there about the film, so that's cool. So that's a good addition, and it's a really cool film. Like I said, it's a classic tale. It does grip you if you're in the right place to watch it. You've got to be in the right mood to watch a silent movie, because they can be a bit boring because they're slow, and they're not like sort of today's sort of films, you know, where we have all the technologies to build up that atmosphere to make you feel afraid or make you feel anything. Like I said, if you put yourself back in the 1920s in the theatre, on the cinema, watching this, you probably would have been a bit terrified, but a bit humoured as well, because there's some funny bits in it, especially from the guy that plays Paul Jones. He brings a bit of humour to the film, and I think that was brought in deliberately because they didn't want to make it too sort of dark. But I wish they took that humour out and just left it dark. But you know, I've got no say on anything. But there we go. But it was a really great film. Cat and the Canary, 9 out of 10. And if you guys seen it, if you have, let me know down below. It is a classic. It's looked upon as being a classic of the horror genre. Now, if you're into horror films and you really are a horror fan, you must appreciate the beginnings of the genre, because without them we wouldn't have anything else. Like when you watch this, you think there wouldn't be haunted house films, there wouldn't be films like The Haunting, films like the comedy Haunted Honeymoon, or films like anything that revolves around that sort of genre, the old dark house. Films like this, they all come about because of this sort of film. and they're very, very important. Historically, to the horror genre, they're extremely important. So this is why it's good sometimes to delve in to something that's a real classic. Now, I would recommend picking this up because it is a really good sort of watch. It runs for about an hour and 28 minutes. So it is a full-length feature. It's not like an hour, because a lot of these old silent films were like an hour long. And this one was like an hour and a half. So it's really, really cool. And it does grip you a little bit because you sort of like the characters, especially Annabelle and Paul Jones. There he is there. See, looking like Harold Lloyd. And there's the creepy maid. and it's such a cool sort of like take on the haunted house film. Really cool. Guys, till next time, check out some other channels for me. Please check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek Movie Film, RS Designs, Pizzawell, I Am Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, and a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I see you all soon.